Afternoon.
Those were probably one of the more difficult losses you guys have had here. How is your team mentally rebounding from that? And what was said in the team meetings? And where do you feel this team is mentally after such a tough emotional loss?
Our team was fine. They were great at practice today. Once you go through the tape and get over it, we got a 24-hour rule. Right now we're getting ready for Tennessee. The focus is good. The practice was good.
What was the biggest lesson they should have gotten out of that game?
Well, you got to finish the game. You got to finish the game. We already know that.
You go back and look like that last drive that they had on offense, and Baker, offense, overcame a lot of things, right? An 8-yard loss, a 4th down conversion. They get in the end zone. Under any other circumstance, you're celebrating. But what can they gather from that sort of efficiency in a big moment like that to convert and score 30-something points?
We did a lot of good things offensively. We can build off of that. It's one of our better scoring games of the year, probably our best scoring game of the year to be exact. So just got to build off of it. When you lose, it's never good enough. We got a lot of things we can still work on, so we're working on that.
With Stroud, obviously, with CJ, you'd see, 8 games to build on. Levis only had 2. Is there enough film to where you have a sense of what you'll get or what they'll do with him on Sunday?
You know what the arm strength is. You prepare for the team, not the quarterback. The quarterback is a product of the system that the team is running, so you get ready for the team.
I understand you guys had a visitor or met with Will Levis in the pre-draft process. Just what did you see out of him? What jumped out to you?
He's a smart guy. He's a good quarterback. He's very smart. He's aware. He has a very strong arm. He's very athletic, and he had all the intangibles.
Coach Bowles, along those lines with Levis, obviously you have the film and your own scouts, but when you have a player like Yaya who played against him so recently last season, how much do you use his knowledge to sort of add to your scouting report?
Not really. I mean, it's a different scheme for Yaya. It's a different scheme for Will. They're not in college anymore, and they got their own things to worry about. I'm sure Will is a quarterback and Yaya is an outside backer. We know how athletic he is and he can be, and we know how strong his arm is. So other than that, there's really nothing to talk about.
Todd, what is it like going up against a running back like Derrick Henry who's built like a truck?
Well, I'm sure I can speak for the other 31 teams in the league. He's a load. I mean, he's tough. He's tough. He's a load, and you know what they're going to do, and he's coming. He's bigger than your linebackers, your outside backers, your inside backers, and all your DBs, so we got to try and gang tackle him.
And also at safety, is Ryan Neal going to start this game, or are you going to continue to deploy a hot hand situation or switch him in and out?
Well, we don't dispose game plan stuff, but everybody should be prepared to play.
Todd, after the game you were saying that we should be, the team, just pissed off the whole week. Do you get the sense from your team that they're kind of pissed off?
They work hard. We're pissed off after every loss, not after that one.
What's the most encouraging signs you're seeing with this team as far as the ability to snap this 4-game losing streak? Are there certain situations within the team that you're seeing that you're seeing some progress?
I mean, we've had it all along. We play together and we stay together. We go through ups and downs together. We're a close-knit group. There's progress being made by the offense. There was progress being made by the defense. We got to just play all together at the same time.
If you look at going into that game, I think you were 5th in the league in points allowed, and then all of a sudden you have a game like that. Do you kind of look at that as a blip? It was a bad performance by your players, and it really wasn't how the progress was going?
Well, as coaches and players, you have bad days in this league. You're not going to go unscathed when you're coaching in this league long enough. And that day, everything fell apart, and we got to regroup. We got guys that we trust. They trust in the coaching staff, and we in it together.
And lots of questions about, man versus zone and how you're kind of deploying guys. And I know you said before that, you're trying to use the coverages that kind of cater to everybody's strengths, I guess, collectively. But in the case of guys like Carlton, Jamel, they've played a lot of man successfully in the league. Is there any concern that the way you're kind of using them isn't to their strengths?
Absolutely no concern. We got to play better. We got to coach better.
I know concussions are hard to gauge and anticipate. Seeing Jamel working on the side with the trainer, would you say there's optimism or hope that he could be there Sunday? Do you know where his recovery stands there?
I'll feel better once I see him on the Friday if he's progressed and he hadn't put a helmet on. So he's in the protocol right now. Again, I'm not smart enough to know if he can recover from that or he can. So we'll see where he's at.
Coach, you were a player in this league, obviously coached a long time. You're going to have bad games, right? If you're Carlton Davis, if you're Baker Mayfield, whoever you are. And you do have the 24-hour rule, but that's easy to say, sometimes hard to do. How did you get over a bad performance? Did you watch the film? Did you not watch it? Did you, I mean, every guy kind of reacts differently, but if you're just a player in that spotlight, how do you process that and get over it?
No, you watch it. I mean, you got to watch it. That's the hard truth. Then you got to look in the mirror. You know, you got to look at yourself in the mirror as a player or as a coach. Then you got to go back to basics. Are you doing the things that you needed to do? Are you doing everything the right way? Are you fundamentally sound? Are you preparing yourself for the game? And if somebody just kicked your butt, you can live with it. But when you do things that you know you can do better and you've done a million times, that's when you go back to basics and you start over again. It happens to everybody. It was our clunker game, and we had one.
Get back into contention, does it have to start winning at home, because this team's only won one game so far at Raymond James?
I don't care where we win at. We just need to win a game.
Coach Bowles, you talked about making progress offensively. Can you share some of maybe the specifics offensively that you think you can build on?
Well, obviously, we scored a bunch of points. There was a little more holes in the run game. We went down the field and completed some things. We just got to keep growing and keep building on that. It's not going to be perfect every time, but there was some light at the end of the tunnel right there that we can build on, and we'll try to build on it.
There's some good pieces up front. Elijah Dancy and debate. I know he was out with injury. Elijah was out earlier in the year with injury. Jack, Joe Tranchuica, Yaya in there. I mean, you've got a lot of resources. But just what are you seeing on tape as to why maybe they're not necessarily getting home, and why they're not maybe disrupting their quarterback more?
Well, some of them are disrupting the quarterback, and sometimes the ball comes out, and it's just your luck when you beat a guy, the ball comes out. We can rush the passer better. It's not so much the sacks I'm worried about as it is the quarterback disruption. We can all be better. We could be better in the last game. We need to be better this week.
Kid Otten kind of came alive, had a couple touchdowns, and a bunch of catches. So what did you see from him that is optimistic about going down in the future, having another target potentially that would help the offense?
McKay's our steady Eddie. I said all along, he's one of the most underrated players we have. And you look up at the end of the day, he does everything. He has outstanding hands. He has a great feel for the game. He may not be the most athletic or the biggest or the strongest, but he's the most complete and the most solid guy, and he does a lot of things well for us, and you saw that last week.
I think I saw, if I can follow, I think I saw a stat where like the last 20 passes that Rashad White had been completed. Can you talk about how just effective he's been as a receiver in that connection with Baker right now and how that's working?
Like we said, it helps out. It's part of the run game for us now, and we started using it as they double Mike and Chris down the field. He's open with about 10 to 15 yards of real estate to run before anybody gets close to him, so we started taking advantage of that a little bit more, and when they start taking that away, we'll start going down the field a little bit more, so it kind of works hand in hand, but he's very good in the open field.
Todd, there's different types of zone coverages, right? Are your cornerbacks playing off too much? Are they giving up too much cushion? Because you guys haven't sniffed an interception in weeks. Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, paying them an awful lot of money, right? And they're not even getting pass breakups.
Yeah, we're not, but it's not a product of playing off. We've been up, we've been off, we've been all over the place. Just got to make plays, and the pass rush and the coverage goes hand in hand.
Anything else?
Thanks.